waiting for my original manifold to come back from the machine shop. It's actually ready, I have to collect it soon. It's after getting surface skimmed at the back where it meets the head. And I also got this flange surface skimmed as well because it's very hard to file it. So I'm going to take off the underslung exhaust. So I have the nut out of the bracket there, and I have just sitting on a box, and I'm going to remove these two bolts. I'm going to put on the vertical exhaust, and I'm going to run it with that for a while. I just want to see how it runs when it's warm, because I'm still chasing a bit of a pop and a spit in the exhaust when it's ticking over, right up to about 800 revs when it's warm. So I'm probably going to try and do a better job of sealing this joint here, because there is a little bit of black stuff there, soot there. And I'm wondering, of course, about here as well, because when I look in my heat shield, now I don't remember is this there from before, but you can see there's black there. So I'm wondering, is that maybe that's blown here? I don't really know. It's hard to say. I can't really see any soot. But anyway, that's what I want to do. I'm going to put on the vertical exhaust, because this manifold will be coming off in the next few days anyway. So I just, for the crack, I'm going to stick it on, start it, run it, warm it up, and see what it's like idling, and see does that pop go out of it. Because if there's a leak in any of them joints, it can be causing the same type of symptoms. So we'll give it a go and see. Off the underslung exhaust. Now, this bolt here, when I say it fought me to the point where I had to put that bar on the 9/16 spanner, and it screeched its way off, every single thread the whole way. I actually thought I was either going to ring it or I was going to have to cut it off. Now, when you look at this gasket here, it tells the tale. There's one side of it, there's the other side of it. And also you can see what was happening here, and the reason why that bolt was so hard to remove was it's after getting baked into it. So this could have been the issue with the popping and farting. So luckily on my other exhaust manifold, I'm after getting that skimmed. So that is very, very interesting. And I wouldn't mind when I put my hand around that when I start the engine when it's cool. I don't feel anything. So it's obviously when it gets hot and things expand that it starts leaking, and that's a very, very obvious leak. There's no other way of describing that. This is brilliant though. This is exactly the kind of stuff that I am looking to find out. But I really thought that I was actually going to ring this. It was that hard to get out, and that is literally because, and you can see the end, I've only literally looked at it there now, it's completely and utterly destroyed. And there's only one thing that did that, and that is sheer and utter heat from that leak. These are hard bolts. So there you go. It's worthwhile checking all these things out. I'm very surprised at that. It actually stripped the threads. Look, like this is only on a couple of months. So that leak is after really frying things. So yeah, it definitely is worth checking out. I never thought I had a leak there at all, of course, but it's definitely making its way out. And you'll probably see there as well is a little bit, let's get the focus, thinner just there where you have the soot on the outside. Little bit thinner, and that's just where it was blowing past. So I'm actually going to get vernier calipers and just see how thinner it is out of interest. So that other bolt you saw there is in the bin, so I've just picked out another one. And this is the same bolt that was fitted. I mean, it's really hard, high quality UNF threads. And this is the bolt that came out from the other side of the exhaust, and it was perfect. Little bit rusty at the end there, obviously, you know, with the heat and stuff. But as soon as it got a little loose in it all, it was hand tight. I was able to take it off by hand. So that's so interesting when you think of it. Things that are happening that you just cannot see. But what's happening with that was I was just getting a little bit, everything was expanding and then it was starting to leak. But to think that that other one was in such a state when only a couple of months ago it looked exactly like that. Anyway, I'm going to go now and fit this on. Now, considering it's already a fairly bad leak on the exhaust manifold, I'm not going to be surprised if it doesn't sound brilliant. But it's just only going to be a matter of putting in 2 bolts. And that I already have this fairly flat, so I'm happy enough with that. Just for the little the test we're going to do, you can see there is a little bit of pitting there, but I might just give it another quick rub and a check for level before I put it on. I will do that. And what I'll do for the fun here as well is I think you can nearly see the banana shape in it there. We'll have a look under there. I'll just put on my headlamp here and we'll have a quick look up under here and see. Yeah, so there you go. It was definitely leaking, and I definitely thought that wasn't fairly bad considering that gasket that I have. The gasket is wherever I left it, of course. Look at the gasket. This is kind of a compression fit ring, and it really does take up, you know, a couple of thou of an inch. I feel it standing proud, so to leak through that, like, it must have been very bad. But anyway, it's all a learning curve. You can, you know, if you haven't made a mistake, you haven't tried. So yeah, I'm going to give that a quick test for flatness. I think it's very obvious that it's not, but I'll try and clean it up a little bit, and then I'll put that on. Now I want to illustrate another little point, right? This is a whetstone. It's flat. Let's see if we can get a rock out of this. That is how unlevel this is. Like, you're talking about 15 plus thou, not more, 20 thou. It's massively unflat. Massively unflat. Very bad. How did I fit that? I'm fairly sure I gave that a fair good filing before I put it on. Obviously didn't. That is crazy. Crazy. My God. Yeah, I'm not surprised. Maybe it's actually after buckling it, after I tightened it up. I think that's probably more so what's sort of happening. Because if you look down here as well, you'll see it was leaking. And of course it was after baking that bolt. It was blown out the back there as well. So I'm actually going to put this flange now in the vise and give it a bit of a flattening as well, I think, because I think that thing is going to take a lot of work. But anyway, it doesn't need a lot of work because it's going to be coming off. But still, when I have it off, then I will flatten it up a bit. But yeah, something I never thought was going to be an issue. I obviously want to check this flange for flatness as well. I mean, straight away you can see it's definitely leaking as well. Now this was fitted to another tractor as well, but I can see straight away. I'll turn on the headlamp as well here. I might be able to show you. If you look at the gap there, it's very noticeable. You know, if you get your feeler gauge now and throw it in there, so again you can nearly see the banana shape in it there, where it's just pulling down in there, from there and there. So look, I will be obviously using this again. So what I'm going to do is, and I think it nearly has to be done every time, is flatten this again. Simple as that. A good bit of filing on this flange, and I remember I had to flatten this already. You can see exactly what's happening here now as well. Look at all the low spots. Now this exhaust spent most of its life on the Ferguson 20 diesel at home, so the exhaust wouldn't have got very hot, probably about 60 odd degrees. So I know when it's on a vaporizer manifold it definitely gets hotter, but you're talking about under 100, because I checked it yesterday evening with a heat gun, temperature gun. So yeah, you can see how low certain parts of it are. It's crazy when you think of it, how low it is. And suppose that's just the pressure of those 2 bolts and then the heat, and it's bending. So yeah, I'm going to have a good bit more filing to do to get that right. But yeah, I might still go ahead and try and fit the U-bend, the vertical one, on the tractor. I know there's an awful bow in that, but look, it'll be interesting just to see what it does, because it's been so long since it's been on it. I'm after doing a bit more tidying up on the flange on the U-bend, and I'm going to just stick it on temporarily. And because I have to move this tractor, and I want to bring out the Ferguson 20 diesel for a spin, because I want to get a bit of oil run around the engine. So in the meantime, I'm working on this flange here as well. I already did this before I fitted it back a couple of months ago, and that's after about a good 20 minutes of filing. So you can see how low each side of it is, you know, so I'm going to have to keep filing away at that. So it's not too bad, it's soft enough. So it's been a long time since this is on. I think I had the work done on the cylinder head, and then I fitted the underslung exhaust. So I'm going to put this on. I found this was always hard to get sealing, so look, I'm not going to expect it to be perfect. I'm just going to literally start it, move it back out of the way so I can get the Ferguson 20 diesel out. See how this sounds. It's been a good while since it's been on. So petrol tap, turn that on. Choke, throttle. It doesn't sound great unless I still have a bit of kerosene in it. Doesn't sound great at all. It sounds very choked. Maybe it didn't need choke, but it was cold last night. And normally I wouldn't start if there was any kerosene in it. Yeah, definitely smells a little bit like kerosene there anyway. I'll try without choke. So it's blowing very bad on the back left hand side there, I can feel it. So it'll do just to get it reversed out of the way anyway. I'm going to give the 20 diesel a start now. I'm not going to use any heat. now we're going to bring it for a spin. The vertical exhaust was a fail, and a serious fail. So it's very, very bad around the back there, blowing out. I tried tightening it up there in the video, so that's no big issue. I'm just after bringing the Ferguson 20 diesel for a spin, and I have a separate video up on that. So what I can be doing in the meantime is, since I'll be getting my exhaust manifold back tomorrow, is to give this a good flattening. As I said already before, I did this before, so I don't know what's happened. Maybe the exhaust manifold is so hot, but you can see there it's seriously low, and this is after a good bit of filing. But regardless, I'm going to flatten that so that when I fit this to the other exhaust manifold, at least I'll be certain that it'll be making a good seal, and I have picked out a good gasket for it as well.